As I was working on this outer ring, I was thinking of the terminology of what it is that I'm trying to do. And what it is, I've got the big file there, if y'all can see that whole thing. Now, I do got the end on here, and I suggest it for everybody, but now I do got this file over here that don't have a handle on it. And there is a reason for that. I was using it on another thing where it needed to lay flat. The handle would have interfered with that. So there is a reason not to have a handle on this file. It will be installed shortly. The coarser grade, the terminology of this, what I'm doing to this outer ring is I'm using the broadness of the file, covered as much area as I can while rotating the flywheel. With the other hand, I'm rotating, maintaining a levelness of the file, and just barely taking off the high places until I reach the average plane of levelness that I mentioned in the last video. What that means is this inner ring and this outer ring was, it had been beat by a hammer, and it was so pock-marked all the way around that I would have had to remove too much material from the lip of this outer edge plus the inner edge. I would have had to remove an excessive amount of material. So what I did is I took it to an average. I took about half of the high places away with the coarse file. I just worked it all the way around with a coarse file, turning this it all the time, and worked it all the way around with the coarse grade file right there. Then I followed it up with the it's a fine tooth. I followed up the coarse file all the way around with the fine grit. Then I came with a piece of emery cloth. It's 240 grit. If I may teach you something, anytime you're using a piece of sandpaper, you use what's called a 3/4. That way. Okay, now when you use that piece of paper, it's got a grip on the back of that one so it won't go askew. If you fold your paper in half, then it'll go like that right there. You can't control it. So if you fold it in thirds, you have control over your paper. Plus, after you use this side and this side, look yonder, you got a brand spanking new one. So that's just a shop tip there if you're not already aware with it. But anyway, this 240, I went the whole thing's already finished except this outer edge, and I saved it over for a show and tell. Okay, I follow up with this 240. Once I get past the 240, then I went over the whole thing. A sandpaper mark on a piece of aluminum, especially if you're going to paint it. Once I get it all done, then I'll go over with this piece of Scotch Brite, and then I'm going to paint it. Just one coat of Rust-Oleum aluminum. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out right here, blow it off with our hose, and then we'll see what it looks like. Actually, finishing this flywheel, if you remember back to the get-go, it looked really bad, and it is. It's a turbo flywheel. It has a real good lot of magnetism in the magnets. It is the correct flywheel for the engine. This is one of those incidents where that to build the engine and maintain the correct serial number to the engine to verify that it was actually, it's a good example of what this engine was when it came from the factory. Just a good example. In reality, if you were going to use this engine, most likely You remember, we never cranked this engine. We have no proof that the engine will run. We have done all of the basics, so it should start and run as new. The flywheel has two to the extreme flat places on the flywheel. Now you see how quick we went around that? There's hardly no scratches whatsoever in the rim of that. And then you follow it up here with the 320, wet or dry, and I can see the scratches going away every time I go around. Kind of rounded. You don't want a sharp edge left on anything as a rule. So we did that. Now, if you can see, this is I have not used this grit on the flywheel as of yet, and it's just to clean up this Scotch pad. Actually, the flywheel, if you want to leave it in its raw condition, this Scotch pad right here is that's a pretty decent finish all the way around. It looks good and clean. But right here is a flat place in that pulley. Right there. It's probably been dropped on this side. Also, completely opposite of it on the other side is another flat place, a little more extreme. There are three of them. There's another one down here in a nick. The flywheel will be out of true. It will be out of a balance. The reason I cleaned it up and going to paint it and everything is because of the serial number. What I'll do is I'm going to put this on the engine. We will start the engine with this flywheel. If the engine was ever going to go into service, then you would want to change this flywheel to one that was in perfect roundness, because a vibration here will telescope itself through the crankshaft to the bushings, and it will wear the bushings out post haste. I mean, we talking about some bushings getting wore out because of a flywheel that's out of balance. We're going to get on to something else now. Just something to think about. It's a Model 72D